All America, all the time. Sit down, buckle up, and get ready for The Dan Bongino Show.
You know, this is like dog years on the show. It is. You know what I say? 1 year, 7 year, whatever. The pure mathematical conversion, who the hell knows? Some dogs live longer, but I'm gone a week, and it really does feel like it's been like 2 or 3 months. There was so much stuff. I come in this morning, Guy's like, how'd you keep that all in your head? Because I was gone for the week, and I was sending him stories all week. I come back, and 45 minutes later, there's a show. I said, well, I got a little file I keep it in because I can't miss this stuff. Happy birthday, America, by the way. 250 years of freedom, liberty, and kicking ass. I love you, America. I love America. No, I'm serious, man. I'm not trying to be like funny or anything. You ever just wake up every morning? Do you ever wake up? I wake up every morning. I say, I'm Dan Bongino. I love Jesus and Jesus loves me. I say, God, I open my hands like this. I take it all in. I say, thank you for sending me all the positive energy of your amazing universe every morning. I'm not messing with you, man. Sets a day. Don't pick up your phone right. Who need a phone? You get to the phone later. Get up in the morning. Thank God for all the positive energy in this great universe. You live in America. Think about how long the universe has existed, right? And God created sentient beings that say, I think, therefore I am, for those Descartes fans out there. And of those people that thought, therefore they were, and think, therefore they are right now, you were born in the one place where the best thinking and the best R's happen. Right here. Still kicking ass. The greatest country, constitutional republic, representative democracy in the history of mankind. Flags in the chat before we even start the show. I don't even know if we're going to get the content today. It just may be an hour of me telling you how much I love America. I met this guy who was on vacation this week. He watches documentaries too. We were talking about, I met the dude. I met this cat. I don't even know him. This guy, Shane. I don't tell you his last name. Talking about documentaries and how the hell, like America, like how we made it this far. American flags in the chat. By the way, you know what? Let's do it now while we're talking about the chat. Today is the first day of our 1776 contest, by the way, where we just want to give you money. We just want to give you money. Yes, we just want to give you money. Why? Because I like to. It's called the 1776 Live Club. We're kicking it off today on Rumble. Every week, we're giving away $1,776 cash prize. You want in? Watch the show live like you're doing right now on Rumble. Blow up the chat. That's it. Just get in the chat. That's the whole thing. Best comment can win. We'll see you there live. See official rules at bongino.com/1776. That's it. I just want to give you, I'm not kidding. We just were like, what do we do for the audience? Let's just give them money. Why? Because we like to give money away. I love you guys. I did miss you in the past week. I do have a lot to get to. Very seriously, a lot of stuff went down. The communist takeover of certain blue and purple states is now almost complete. So be happy you're on the right side of the moral arc of history. Supreme Court rulings, a ton of stuff to get to. Trump was just talking about, President Trump, he just got off the air, was talking about the Trump accounts. The liberals are going to freak out about this over time because they obviously want government to control the money. They don't want money in the free market system. And then, big happy birthday for America. And I want to talk in the beginning about the war going on for our country, for the soul of our country and the soul of our party. So a lot to get to. I'll give you a quick kind of weekend update too. I'm not going to wear out, I want to get to the content. So, hey, have you ever thought you should be doing more to protect yourself online? You should always. Your information is out there. You don't want to get doxxed, some lunatic showing up at your house or something. You're not sure where to start. I'm going to tell you where to start. Go to Delete Me. Join deleteme.com/Bongino is the website. Enter code Bongino. You'll get 20% off Delete Me. Delete Me removes your personal information that's being sold online. This is really dangerous out there in today's world. Your data is everywhere. A quick internet search can reveal your home address, your home phone number, your cell number. You don't need that. Delete Me can help by removing your information from hundreds of data broker websites. As someone with an active online presence, I am very concerned about this. We've had a number of issues. I like knowing there's a service out there helping me protect my exposure online. You can do it too. Take control of your data today. Don't wait. Keep your private life private by joining Delete Me. Sign up today at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off. That's a big savings on a Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/Bongino. Please do it today. Use promo code Bongino at checkout. Protect yourself online. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/Bongino. Enter code Bongino. Do it today. Do not get doxxed. It's very dangerous. Protect yourself. Thanks, Delete Me. All right, fellas. First bell in a week. So, I was gone last week. I took a little trip with the family. I hope you're enjoying your summer. And I'm going to tell you I totally forgot you guys like that. And it's so dramatic, the weekend update thing. It's so, like, I'm going to talk about like I invaded like a communist country by myself and to go, it's like, what'd you do, Dan? The weekend, big drama. And like, clearly he went and like took over a communist country by himself and stood on a hill like, no, that's not what happened at all. I actually just took a little beach vacation down in the Bahamas with my family. But let me tell you something. When you're watching your kid, right? My other daughter was working, but my youngest daughter's with me. Swimming with some sea turtles in like the bluest water around. And you're just like standing on a beach. It wasn't even anything like super fancy, I promise you. And I said, sitting on these sea turtles, come, Dad, look. Grab a little sea turtle, put them back. Sea turtles come up. People were like feeding them stuff. It wasn't us. It was some other crew, whatever. You see, it wasn't me. I don't know. I'm not Jack Cousteau, you know. I grew up in the city. I swam in a freaking fire hydrant, you know, like this. I didn't learn how to swim until I was a Secret Service agent. True story. She's sitting there and she said, Dad, look at this. And the turtles keep coming over. I saw a little barracuda. I was like, hey, get your jewelry out of the water. You see your daughter smile. And nothing like that. Nothing like it. Like, surely you did some, like, amazing, you went and visited, like, the Taj Mahal. No, we just really dipped our feet in really clear blue water, stepped in the sand, grounded a little bit, watched some sea life. And you know what we did at night? We had a little dock party. We hung out in some folding chairs. It probably cost $20 at Walmart. My friend brought out some cigars. I don't smoke, but they did. But the smoke smelled pretty sweet. It did. I had a couple. I'm not really a vodka drinker, but I tried it for the first time. I had a few drinks. And we were just telling stories. One of the guys who was a Navy SEAL, a real, an actual Navy SEAL. Was out there telling stories. And we're all just sitting there like, this is the life, man. It's the life. But it is good to be back with you guys. When I was gone, of course, you know me, people like to F with me a lot. It's usually a mistake because I usually kick you square in the fucking ball. Sorry, I'm trying not to curse as much. In the freaking balls. I'm really trying. It's not really working. I give zero shits about that. Toying with me is never a good idea, but people like to do it anyway, and they typically lose. So, of course, you had your bow tie wearer, out there again with his 40th, 50th time claiming he's got some freaking material he just refuses to disclose. So you probably saw that. So, folks, there's a war going on for the soul of our country. You see it with this fight going on with the communists right now. This is really serious, but there's a war going on, an equally important war for our movement. And I want you to know that I'm proud, and I mean it, like really, really genuinely proud. Not harmful, boastful pride, but proud to be part of a movement with you that is really committed to this country, but bedrocked in truth as well. That we don't get suckered by stupid conspiracy theories. We don't get suckered by nonsense. Oh, I'll show you the text. Okay, here are the texts. Show us the text. Oh, I don't have that. Okay, well, whatever. I'm really proud to be on the right side of this. There's a vacuum of trust that's developed in America over the course of the last 30 or 40 years in the media, in institutions. I understand that. That vacuum of trust is going to take a long time to clean up, but it's really shameful. People trying to hijack our party and direct people down a vortex of pure stupidity. How they've hijacked this moment by being kind of charismatic messengers to get people to believe in a bunch of stupid shit. Don't fall for charismatic messengers. I'm a spreadsheets guy. You want a tally? I'll give you a tally. You want to find out where this movement needs to be and where it needs to go, or do you want to fall down this vortex of stupid into the phantom zone of idiocy with these other lunatics? Sniffing their freaking, putting their dumbass camel noses under the tent, trying to take over our movement. Here's the tally sheet. Think about this, right? So we've had our body of work. arrests, convictions, pleas, or ongoing investigations or trials into Charlie's case, the pipe bomber, Comey, Newsom, Kathy Hochul's staff, Antifa, BLM, the SPLC, the New Orleans mayor, the grand conspiracy investigation going on right now, the COVID arrests and indictments, swatting cases, the Benghazi case in Bakush, crime rates the lowest in U.S. history, murder rate lowest in U.S. history, percentage drops the most in U.S. history. That's our tally sheet. That's our tally sheet, dipshits on the other side. Your tally sheet is what? Your tally sheet is, I had to write this down, multiple defamation suits, not a single actionable suspect, content grifting, attacks on MAGA people, and constant gaslighting. Speaking untruths, speaking them loudly, isolating people from the truth. That's all you have. That's the tally. That's just the facts. I'm proud to be with you on the right side of this. And you're always told by the doomers trying to destroy our movement because they're no different than the left. Make no mistake. This is not infighting. It's outfighting. These people are not part of our movement. They were never part of our movement. Look at these people. Damn, why aren't you mentioning? Because I've already mentioned their names. I'm not giving them our substantial audience's attention every day and wasting your time anymore. There's too much going on. I'm simply trying to make the point that the war for the soul of our country is no different when we're fighting the communists rather than we're fighting the MAGA, fake MAGA people sticking their nose under the tent, trying to destroy this place with a shit bomb from the inside. The war's no different. They both use the same tactics: lies, deceit, proud, vocal lying, and isolating people from the truth. Remember we were told by the media about the John Bolton case? Oh my gosh, this must have been revenge. The FBI and Cash and Dan Abe went after this guy because it was revenge. There's no there. Well, when I was out, this happened. It seems like the no there people were wrong again. Check this out.
Bolton's classified information case. So he is now in court and expected to change his plea to guilty to one count of retaining classified information. The former national security advisor admits he retained classified information within a diary entry. He faces up to 5 years in prison and a fine of over $2 million.
There you go. So, entitled to his day in court, pled guilty. Not vindictive, not revenge. It's called process. That's what we do in a republic. It's not a freaking lynch mob, folks. You want a lynch mob? Join the French Revolution. Jefferson thought it was a good idea, too. I love Jefferson till he didn't. Till he saw the guillotine outside in the square. I thought there was nothing happening. I thought there was no there. Remember when all the media grifters, same tactic, by the way, as the fake, people trying to insert themselves into the MAGA tent, the exact same tactic. Doom, gloom, bullshit, lies, and gaslight. Remember when they told you this? I saw this tweet up this week. Oh, this was definitely revenge. There was nothing there. Even the Wall Street Journal chimed in on this one. Fake news lied. They noted this FBI account. Here's some of the headlines they put out about the Bolton case. Patel ordered the Bolton FBI distraction raid on the Epstein files release day. Oh, yeah. John Bolton raid shows weaponization of FBI against Patel's gangster list. Former deputy director Blash Cass Patel, not me, for elevating risks for agents during Patel raid with calling it irresponsible. He pled guilty. Here you go. Trump gets revenge on John Bolton. Who's next? Case didn't even start under ours. We just finished it. And he pled guilty. I thought there was nothing there. I thought nothing was happening. Again, arrests, convictions, pleas, or ongoing investigations into all these cases right now. You got a trial going on right now for Charlie. You got the pipe bomb case. We're ready to defend ourselves in court. What do you guys have? What's your tally sheet, bro? Multiple defamation suits? Not a single suspect you've been able to produce that would stand up anywhere in any kind of constitutional republic, maybe stand up to the guillotine in the French, off with their heads. These people are traitors, man. They're traitors to our movement, and some of them are traitors to our country. And believe me, I use that word very deliberately. That's not a mistake. Folks, they're no different than the frauds and commies on the left. And I'm telling you, I've never had a prouder moment in this space than this moment right now with you guys and ladies out there. The fact that we came back in this kind of maelstrom of chaos and doom and grifting and bullshit, massive foreign funded money coming into this to get you to believe that the party's done and everybody to turn on each other, Tower of Babel, start cannibalizing each other and eating ourselves alive. The fact that the overwhelming majority of this movement is still there. I'm telling you, man, it is so refreshing to get out in the real world. I don't get out a lot. I don't. But having spent this week away in a foreign country, no less, not far, but in a foreign country, and having so many people come up to, and I met a bunch of people I hadn't known yet, and say the nicest things. It is so refreshing to realize that that's not the real world. That's not the real world. They're not even a minority. They're the minority of the minority. Folks, they're no different than the frauds and commies on the left. There is a battle for the soul of this country. If you believe in freedom and liberty and 250 years of kicking ass, there's a formula. It's called a republic. We've done it. We've been there. We've made the mistakes. We've learned from them. Why would you want to repeat the mistakes of history over and over again, like the tragic, horrible starvation, torture, and poverty mistake of communism? Why would you want to bring that here? Leave aside the fake MAGA bums for now, and there's a bunch of them, because they're no different than these people. But I want you to understand one thing they both have in common is they're frauds. They claim they're looking for evidence, and then when you give them evidence, they ignore the evidence and just move on to more conjecture. This is the same thing the left does. Here is Exhibit A and what I'm talking about. They are no different. The commies and the freaking black pill bums are the exact same frauds. Here's Bernie Sanders this past week. He's on with Brett Baer talking about, hey, man, you're always like railing against the oligarchy and the millionaires and billionaires, yet you're flying around the country in a private jet while bitching and moaning about carbon dioxide emissions. So is this a priority for you that you're willing to live by the rules you claim are better for the advancement of humanity, or is it not? Bernie Sanders basically just outs himself. He's like, yeah, I don't really give a shit. It's convenient for me to do it, and you guys can go double barrel middle finger. You doubt me? Listen to his own words. Check this out.
You saw Donald Trump during a campaign mode at National Airport.
No. It doesn't. But he's also not fighting the oligarchy.
No. You run a campaign and you do 3 or 4 or 5 rallies in a week. The only way you can get around to talk to 30,000 people. Think I'm going to be sitting on a waiting line at United? Waiting, 30,000 people are waiting. That's the only way you can get around. No apologies for that. That's what campaign travel is about. We've done it in the past. We're going to do it in the future.
How are you falling for this? Liberals, please. We need like a show timeout, like a whistle. Can we take like a 20-second? How are you falling for this? I don't get how the minority fall for the bullshit art of grifters. I've got evidence. You're going to show it? No, I'm never going to show it. But you're going to keep falling for it. Liberals are just as freaking stupid. I'm dead serious when I ask you this. I don't know a way to say this kindly. How are you falling for this bullshit? Bernie Sanders is the ultimate limousine liberal. What do you think? I'm going to wait in line at the airport with the great unwashed? You smelly little bastards. You think I'm going to sit with you? Sitting online? Eating pretzels? He's just admitting that he's a big limousine liberal. He's laughing in your face, you stupid shits on the left. He's laughing in your face. Folks, stupid is a choice. You don't have to be stupid. Why are you falling for this guy's bullshit? Why don't I take commercial flight because it's convenient for me to get. You don't think it's convenient for other people too? Why not redistribute your private jet hours and give it to a guy on a charity flying over to Haiti or whatever to rescue some orphan kids? It's more important for you to go to a bullshit Chevalier rally, Mamdani rally in New York? Stupid is a choice, dipshits. How do you keep falling for this shit? Why are you so stupid? We believe in free markets. We believe in the ability to earn money, to retain private property. That's how we live. You may not like it, but there's no hypocrisy in it. Bernie said, oh, Trump flies private. He's a freaking capitalist who earned money. He's lost money. He's earned money. You don't have to like him, but at least he's not a freaking fraud. You want to see how dumb these people are? Folks, stupid is a choice. Stop being stupid on the left. So there's this guy, Caleb Hammer, has a show on YouTube. It's quite good. He does very good on the economics, does very well, excuse me, the economic content. He has a Bluetooth liberal, Bluetooth, or maybe blue tea too, who knows? Maybe she had some methylene. I get blue tea sometimes, I take the methylene blue. It's true, remember that time? I took it before the show and I forgot, remember I had like Smurf tongue going there. So Jasmine was like, you okay? They got this blue-haired lady on, some liberal lady, obviously like a socialist communist, and this guy, Caleb Hammer, asks her a basic question. Like, hey man, you want the rich and the wealthy, just like, Bernie and all, to pay more, but what's more mean? Like, what do they pay now? If I ask you for more money, can I borrow more money? And let's just say I meet you on the street and you're rich and we just met each other and we were sitting down, we're hanging out on the dock on the cheap lawn chairs. And I'm like, hey, Tony, we just met, but can I borrow more money? He's going to be like, what do you mean more? You've never asked me to borrow. No, more. Well, more from what? More money. I know, but you never asked me to borrow money in a pet. What do you mean more? You mean $10? You mean $1,000? So this dipshit is asked a simple question like, how much do they pay now? Because you want them to pay more. So more needs an anchor, correct? More, anchor. Here's the number. We want more. Because if you don't have an anchor, the number you're going to could be below. Is this hard? This is not hard. This is called like basic logic a kindergartner gets. Mary, do you want more food? Mommy, I don't have any food yet. So how can I ask for more? Right? Watch this exchange with Caleb Hammer and this absolute idiot. Stupid is a choice. Don't be stupid. Check this out.
What percent does the top 1% pay in federal income taxes?
None.
I think it's about 40 to 50%. No, I believe it's about 35%. Then the top 10% pays 50 to 60%. Top 50% pays 99%. The bottom 50% of earners only pay 1%. Did you know we actually have the most progressive income tax system in the entire Western world? Did you know that?
I did not.
Oh, we do. Of course you didn't know that. Why know anything before having an opinion? You're probably a raised taxes person, aren't you? But you didn't even know that we have the most progressive income tax in the entire Western world?
I know that.
You think the top 1% pays 0%? Okay, but that's actually just not true according to IRS data.
Folks, I'm asking you now as I asked you at the beginning of the show, please tell me the difference from blue-haired liberal lady, Al Sharpton, that'll be important in a minute, Bernie Sanders, and the black pill doomer grifters trying to take over our movement. Please tell me the difference. Provide evidence for what you're saying. I'll get to it tomorrow. It's secret. And it never comes, ever. They don't know anything. Stupid is a choice for these people. You don't have to follow stupid people. They're like, you know what they remind me of? They remind me of like a battlefield analogy. They're sitting there leading their army of morons. They're like, charge! Sir, those are the friendlies. The redcoats are that way. Oh, I'm sorry. Charge! No. It's that hill, not this hill. They're over there. Stupid is a choice. You don't have to be stupid. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to show you another one of these, a classic from the show. of how these communists and their takeover is built around, this is the religion of imbeciles and morons. You don't have to be stupid. Stupid is a choice. You have AI to help you now. You have almost a surrogate brain if your brain is too stupid to process information. You can say to ChatGPT, I'm really stupid. I have a 60 IQ. Can you assist me in getting smarter and answer my questions? It will help you. So will Grok. Quick break. I'm going to show you another one of these. We have a choice, folks. There is a war for the soul of this country. You're the soldiers in that war. Don't be on the wrong side of this, man. Hey, if you're a homeowner, you probably thought, should I call American Financing to refinance and pay off this credit card debt? And sometimes you may second guess yourself because that low mortgage rate you have, that you currently have, right? Listen, that low rate, it's not saving you if you're drowning in credit card interest at 25% or more. It's just not. That's the math no one wants to face, but it's costing you thousands. Here's the truth. If you're only making minimum payments, that debt's going to follow you for years. American Financing is the solution for you. They've been with us a long time. It's a great company. That's why a lot of our listeners are calling American Financing. They're saving customers an average of $800 a month, $800 a month by using their equity to finally break free from credit card debt. You owe it to your family to see what's possible. Your wallet gets fatter too. No upfront fees, no pressure. It costs you nothing to find out what you could save every month. And if you start today, you may be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. So call American Financing today. Here's the number. Write it down. 888-994-7660. That's 888-994-7660. You can visit them online as well. It's a .net address, americanfinancing.net/Bongino. That's americanfinancing.net/Bongino. Check out American Financing today. Thank you, American Financing. Today's show also brought to you by All Family Pharmacy. I want to personally thank them for, you know what, can you put the picture of her for hooking me up? I asked them, I called them up. I go, hey guys, I'm taking a little week-long vacation. I'm going to be out of pocket, kind of in the middle of nowhere. Can you guys just throw me a travel pack? They were nice enough to send me this. There's 2 of them, by the way. So that's my kitchen counter right there. Thank you, All Family Pharmacy. You're the best. We had all this motion sickness, antibiotics. I talk about this company all the time. They make it super easy to work with a licensed physician and get access to the medications you trust. So you're not knocking on a pharmacy window in emergency. And where I was, there was no pharmacy window. Right now, they're running their biggest sale of the year. Through midnight on July 7th, it's buy one, get one free on ivermectin, mebendazole, ivermectin cream, hydroxychloroquine, whatever quantity you order of these selected medications, they'll double it for free. You can't beat that. Order 30, get 60. Order 100, get 200. That's math that works for you. The process is simple. Complete a quick online medical form like that. A licensed physician will review your request, provide a prescription if appropriate. Your medications are shipped directly to your door. Don't miss this chance to stock up and save before the BOGO sale ends. It's a great company, folks. Check them out. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Bongino or call 561-717-6794. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Bongino. Prescription required. Always consult a medical professional before taking any medication. This is not medical advice. And by the way, the motion sickness one came in very handy for Amelia, who got a little motion sick one day. So thank you, All Family Pharmacy. Back to the show. Stupid is a choice. You don't have to be stupid. I'm sorry, folks, but when you're debating with your liberal friends who are arguing that the rich should pay more taxes, you should ask them a very simple question. Okay, what do they pay now? Because if you're asking me for more hamburgers at a July 4th, well, did you have one yet? No, so why would you want more? You haven't even, tell me what the freaking number is. Here's a classic we play on the show all the time, but it's worth it. Because it goes to show you that they never know. There are generations of stupid liberals who really believe wealthy Americans pay no taxes at all. They have no idea what the numbers are, despite the fact they could just go to AI and ask that shit. It's really simple. Here's an old classic, John Stossel versus Al Sharpton on this. Check this out.
The rich do not pay their share.
That's a widespread belief. But do the politicians even know how much of the income tax burden the rich pay now?
The top 1% in this country pays very much less than 10%, very much less than 5%.
So what's fair? The top 1% should pay 10% of America's income taxes? 20%?
No, they should pay somewhere around 15%. They don't pay 5%. Anybody could see that as unequal and unfair.
So they should pay 15%, he says. And the richest 1% now pay less than 10%. Then he said less than 5%. But that's so silly because, and I bet most of you don't know this, the IRS says the richest 1% of taxpayers already pay 34%. Twice what Sharpton wanted them to pay. The Reverend barely reacted when I told him. They're already paying 34%.
No, I think that if you deal with the quality of their lives.
He quickly changed the subject. He never would admit how far off he was.
They always change the subject. The black pill doomer bros do the same thing. Did you notice this? Folks, the theme of today's show, keep it in your head. What's the difference between Bernie Sanders, AOC, Chevalier, commies, and the doomer grifter bros? What's the difference? Absolutely nothing. Ask them for evidence. They get the evidence wrong or they don't produce it. And then when you confront them with the number, they actually pay 34%, the top 1%. They just move on and change the subject to Egyptian planes or something. This doesn't strike you as like you're being played. You're a mark. You're a mark. You're being played by the dude in Times Square in the 80s who used to sell you a Rolex out of his jacket. They'd be like, $5. That's a Rolex? Yeah, it's real. And for $5, yeah, I got a guy. Oh, you got a guy, all right. They would do it with sunglasses, too. They'd be like, here's a pair of Oakleys. I'd be like, those look like Folkleys to me. At least the cheap umbrellas, they acknowledge are cheap. They're not even knockoffs. You're falling for this shit. Why is this popping into the national conversation again than it made it on the show? Because a lot of people are willingly jumping off this cliff into the phantom zone of stupid, and they're following morons like the grifter bros, the grifter podcast bros, and people like Gavin Newsom. They're no different. Here's Gavin Newsom, who, by the way, there was a billionaire tax on the ballot in California. Newsom, behind the scenes, was actually fighting against this thing in California because he knows that the people who establish billion-dollar and trillion-dollar businesses in California, creating all of the wealth that builds out the parks in the state and everything else, that the second they do this billionaire tax, they're all going to leave. So because his base of lunatics and commie asshole frauds started giving him shit over it. We got to steal from people more money. What does he do? He goes out and films one of these hostage videos, now calling for a national billionaires tax, and suckers are falling for this. Not good enough for his state, but it's good enough for everyone else. Check this out.
It's time for a national billionaires tax and a new social contract. Think about this. Just 10% of people, 10% of people in this country own 2/3 of the wealth. The system is fundamentally broken. The federal tax code, the corporate tax code, and the inheritance tax code seem to be written for a different set of Americans. It's time for an economic reset, a true minimum tax on billionaires that, well, ensures the people at the very top pay at least the tax rate their own workers pay.
They pay more, asshole. How stupid are you? Can you just use your surrogate AI brain and ask basic questions? By the way, hat tip Maze Moore, great account on X, M-A-Z-E, always does great research, fantastic for clips. Here's Maze Moore, a clip of Gavin Newsom a while ago, still had the slick back hair gel look going, however, admitting in a little party full of people that the tax rate in California is way too high. These people can't even keep their own stories straight. They sound like the doomer grifter bros. Check this out.
There's a little bit of, the taxes are a little higher.
And you just found LA and all they talked about was the tax.
There's that. No, we're not competitive. Our tax rates are not competitive, period.
I know.
Yeah, just a fact.
He said, these Haitian houses in New Hampshire, I couldn't figure out how to spend
we have the episode.
here there.
Yeah,
it's a little harder.
But it's
in Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no mass exodus. There's just more disgruntled folks. But there are a few that I know are on their way out.
Which is even more tragically comical because he's even wrong about the end portion of that. There has been a mass exodus out of California. Look at the IRS data. We have that montage Justin put together. We put up on the show all the time of the mass exodus out of California. Do these people get anything right? Liberals, I know you claw at your faces, you shit in your diapers and everything because you can't stop. You can't stop this eventual reconciliation you're going to have with the truth. You can only lie to yourself for so long before you realize you're a moron and it hurts. I understand, like it hurts, like I get it. Like, gosh, I believed in these people for so long and they've lied to me. I put out a tweet about this weekend about the doomer grifter bros. It's got to be really tough to have invested hours and hours into Rachel Maddow, Bernie Sanders, Gavin Newsom, and all of these other doomer grifter loser bros, only to find out that everything they talked about was bullshit. You got to feel like, gosh, I got suckered. Here it is right here. Stop, man! Stop, man! Do not flee. We're Braveheart special. Los Angeles leads nation in massive population exodus as breaking point hits Golden State. Look at these headlines. California loses 500,000 residents in 2 years as they flee high costs and COVID restrictions. New York's going to lose 2 congressional seats due to population loss. Are you guys ever right about anything? So just to be clear with you guys, right? As we played in the beginning of the show with the Bernie clip, Bernie Sanders his whole life, because he's never had a freaking job. The guy's a bum. He is a bum. A straight up classless fraud bum, no different than a Times Square watch salesman. That's all he is. This is the pastor in your church of stupid? And you don't feel dumb being one of his sheep? Nothing he tells you is true. This is a priority for me. We got to get rid of the private jets, the wealth, the millionaires and billionaires. Bro, you're a freaking millionaire who flies on private jets. Does it not strike you that you're full of shit? It's such a priority for you that your only job has been to run against the people like you, the millionaires with the private jets. But it's not enough of a priority that you're willing to actually make any significant life change at all? Donate your money. Put it all in the Trump accounts. Give it to the kids. Watch the liberals freak out when they see the appreciation on these Trump accounts and people realize giving their money to the government was a loser instead of keeping it in one of their own accounts. Watch what happens in the next 10 years. Red flags in the chat, please. We got to take a Dan Bongino show timeout. Red flags in the chat. Episode number 2005. Wow, we're at 2,546. Holy Moses. Episode 2,546. I thought we were finished, Justin. All of our haters. These guys are finished. Never going to do another show. Flag it in the chat, folks. Watch over the course of the next 5 and 10 years as these Trump accounts appreciate in the free market economy and people realize for generations they gave their money with Social Security to the government who gave them the double-barrel middle finger and stole it. Watch the liberal freak out as America wakes up. Folks, these people are full of shit and it is exhausting. Put up that, ask ChatGPT how much the top 1%, because you can do this too, liberals. I know you won't, because again, you're too freaking dumb, but you can just put in like ChatGPT. What do you put in there? What do the top 1% of earners in the U.S. pay of the total income tax load? Let's see what it comes back with. Al Sharpton says 0, whatever, 2% or something, that Bluetooth hair lady. They pay 40%. 40%, even higher than when Al Sharpton, that was 34%. Top 1% pay 40% of the income tax. Stupid asses. The top 10% own a significant chunk of the... Yeah, that's how math works, you idiot. They also pay most of the taxes. Newsom, you freaking moron. You don't know how math and percentages work? This is a great clip. This is this guy Chabos, and he's out there arguing with these DSA, Democrats, Socialists of America morons. And notice how, again, they just shift the topic to, that's not what we're talking about. Whenever you bring up a evidenced fact-based point to refute their stupid, rich don't pay any taxes. Actually, they pay 40%, the top 1%. Nice weather out there in Florida. Did you just change the topic? Are you ever going to address what I said? It's the Doomer Bros on the podcast. They do the same thing. They never have any evidence for anything. I want you to watch this when this guy Chabos confronts them, these DSA idiots. And he's like, hey, man, you don't find it kind of weird that like people risk their lives to escape the system you've built your life around or tried to, socialism, or at least speaking about it, you don't live that way. And yet everyone wants to come here to a free market system you say sucks. You don't find that on, watch them laugh and just, we're not talking about that. They just changed the subject. This is how you know you're being suckered. Is that a real Rolex I'm buying in Times Square out of your jacket? Oh, look, squirrel. Check this out.
How many people then are escaping the United States to go to China, Cuba, Venezuela, or Russia?
This is not.
If you, I would say that's not a fair argument to make because there's multiple factors outside of your preference and economic models that
and ability to move.
Yeah. Also, like I don't want to leave my
to
grandma.
another country.
Like my grandma's here. Be damned if it's socialist. My grandma's here.
It makes no sense. It's just such a ridiculous question.
So let me explain. 'Cause maybe you're misunderstanding my point. Then we are talking about which systems are better than others. I'm making the argument that capitalism is the most perfect system we have out of any other market, and my proof to that, among many other things that we've spoken about in this episode, is that you have people coming on boats to escape regressive socialist countries. And if you're trying
people not doing that.
Okay, well, I have a colleague at PragerU named Franklin Camargo, and he literally escaped from Venezuela to come to the United States.
Your anecdotal evidence is totally sufficient.
It's not anecdotal evidence, which is why you have at least 14 to 30 million illegal immigrants who are living in the United States because they're escaping their own lives. And in fact, the argument the left makes as to why we can't bring them back to their countries is because their countries are so dangerous and are so anarchist-esque that we have to keep them in the United States. So if your argument is that either actually no, capitalism is not the best system, or if the argument is no, kind of all systems are kind of random or there's no one better than the other, then if that is the case, then why don't you see millions of Americans in the same way you see millions of people in this world coming to America, leaving America specifically to flee this system? And I'm arguing we're actually seeing the opposite. Why? Because this is the most perfect of all available options for a market economy.
Libs, dumbasses. Stupid is a choice. You don't have to be an imbecile. He's like, oh, gosh, people come in here like that, anecdotal evidence. Did you just miss the 20 million or something people in the 4 years of the Biden open border era who were quite literally on film and drone footage crossing our borders by the hundreds of thousands a month? Did you miss that, you stupid bastards? Tens of thousands of Canadians. That's not even a communist country. It's a heavy liberal welfare state. Tens of thousands with free health care in Canada, which is paid for by massive taxes and a shitty healthcare system. Tens of thousands of them come over the border on the north to get healthcare in the United States, where they pay again just to get away from shitty healthcare. Do you not know any of this? People risk their lives where the guns are pointed in. The guns are pointed in on the wall. If you flee, we will shoot you and kill you. People risk their lives to escape this shit garbage system Bernie Sanders and these others are jamming down our throats all over the country right now. And yet nobody does that in the United States. And nobody's fleeing here. Nobody's fleeing here. The guns are pointed out. We have to protect our borders. You can leave anytime. So I say to the liberals, why not just go? To these young little dipshits in this video, these absolute morons. Why not leave? You've made your whole life about this system you think is utopia of government theft. That's what socialism is. The government theft of means of production, factories, all your iPhones, your private property, your real estate. The government owns all of it. There is no private property in socialism, okay? Why not just go? The answer is because you're either stupid or you don't know what you're signing up for, which makes you even dumber than being just plain stupid. Here's what I'm talking about too. Put up that Wall Street Journal article. Here's this communist that won out in Colorado. I told you, I brought up Colorado last week. You think this communist takeover around the country is just limited to blue states? It's not. It's in purple states too. This lady, Kiros, won a congressional primary in the Democrat side for not a state delegate spot, like a United States House of Representatives spot. She's a big socialist commie too. And what does she think communism is? She said she wants the model to be in our healthcare, to be in our access to nutritional food. That includes free pre-K and college. The socialist dreams can be tapped by taxing millionaires. And she goes, we already have socialism, right? At the roads we drive on, in our fire stations. Folks, this is not socialism. Unless the government owns the asphalt companies and has taken over and seized the means of production, it is not socialism. That is not what it is. You can just look it up. Stupid is a choice, bro. This has a real consequence for impressionable, stupid people who drive on a road and are like, wow, driving's really nice. This must be socialism. Folks, the government passing laws which impose taxes on people to spend on a product or service, roads, school buildings, or whatever it is, that is not socialism. Government spending is not the mark of socialism. Government control of production and spending is socialism. Just do like an ounce of homework, man. Folks, these people are arguing for something they don't live in their own lives because they're frauds like Bernie, and they don't understand. This is a big deal. It's not as if hundreds of millions of people haven't died signing up for this same system of governance. Here's this same lady out in Congress, by the way, who's going to be in Congress soon. Here she is blaming America for 9/11, blaming America for 9/11. This is where you think I was exaggerating at the beginning of the show when I said there's a war for the soul of this country? It's going on right now. And you better damn well be on the right side of it, because this is not a joke. This is not something to be gaffed off. Watch yourself.
Do you believe that the 9/11 terrorist attacks on America were the inevitable consequence of American foreign policy?
Inevitable in the sense that we destabilized a lot of the Middle East, that forced people to believe that another act of violence was the only response. And again, just like I said before, our responsibility is to getting rid of those conditions that lead to violence in the first place.
You know, again, F this lady, man. I'm trying not to curse as much. It's really hard. The Queen's, F this lady and her bullshit. You're telling me flying a jumbo jet into a building full of innocent people who were forced to jump 110 stories to explode on the ground or burn alive, that was justified because of American foreign policy? These people are traitors. These people are traitors. Folks, this is a really serious, grave, almost Manichaean fight going on right now. I need everybody to be on the right side of this, man. Don't get distracted by the grifter bros and the other stuff. Folks, some of them are just brutally honest too. And when I say give credit, don't take this as like a statement of like affirmation of their ideas. Some of them are really just honest. So in case you think like, well, Dan, you know, these stupid socialists aren't really commies and some of them just don't even know what it is. No, Bernie knows what it is. He's just lying to you about what it is and doesn't live it in his own life. This lady who up in New York, this Chevalier lady, who's the new AOC, but worse, she's smarter than AOC's just an idiot. She just came out and said it. Avilia Chevalier, a PhD student, whose victory sent shockwaves through the Democratic establishment, has been under fire for a since-deleted Twitter account that was reported by CNN. It included phrases such as, oh, look at this, fellas, seize the means of production, along with calls to abolish police, prisons, and borders. Ladies and gentlemen, some of these people aren't stupid. They're just lying to you about what they know and hope you don't. Seize the means of production. Do you know what that means? Liberals, stupid is a choice. This lady is telling you what she wants to do. You have a business that produces whatever, calculators in Tuscaloosa. You're making a couple $100,000 a year maybe before taxes. It's a family-owned business. That's a means of production. What does seize mean? Seize means to take. She's telling you. Do you see? Put it up again, please. She's telling you what she wants to do. Seize the means of production. You're the means of production, not her. This loser's never had a real job. By the way, I love to point out that they're big freaking frauds. Alinsky rule, what is it, number 4? Make them live by their own rules, right? So production involves services too, like housing. You going to seize your father's apartment building, Chevalier? What do you mean, Dan? New York Post headline, Mary Jacob. Homeowner bashing. Avelia Chevalier's father is a landlord. Rents his Miami condo for $1,750 a month. $16 more if he giving away as much as we can. 6 to 7, he could donate that. Isn't that crazy? Like, we're actually giving money away. We're the free market. He's taking it from someone. Is it Daria Chevalier? PhD, folks. PhD. Is she seizing that means of production? Producing housing services? Of course not. Because just like Bernie, she's full of shit. Folks, these people aren't kidding. They're not kidding. Here's Mamdani, 34-year-old former rapper, I guess. Also never had a real job. He's never been in a coal mine. He's never had to change out a circuit breaker as an electrician. He's never been an HVAC guy in a Florida attic in the middle of the summer, checking out someone's broken AC so they don't die of heat stroke. He's never been a plumber working on some cooling system or some sanitation issue in a house so that the house doesn't get overwhelmed with like infectious disease. He's never done any of that shit. But he loves doing cute social media videos. Hey, here's me with a popsicle stick, whatever the he's eating. Talking about the New York Rent Control Board. There's already a rent control board. It's called real estate, buying property. He wants to seize your property too. You think this doesn't have real world consequences? It does. Check this out.
New York, the Independent Rent Guidelines Board just froze the rent. That means if you're one of the more than 2 million New Yorkers who lives in a rent-stabilized apartment, your rent's going to be frozen next year.
Folks, there is a way to control rent. It's called pricing. When the government controls rent, what the government does is decrease the supply of apartments because a landlord who just bought a building, who may have invested his life into it, is not going to rent an apartment where he can't make an income on the apartment. He's not going to lose money. I know this is hard for you morons on the left to understand. So what happens? They shrink the supply of apartments. What also happens? You get increased demand. Because if I can rent a $1,000 apartment, $1,000 a month, or $1,750 Chevalier, dad's condo price apparently, according to the Post. If I can rent it for $1,000, there's going to be tons of applications because that's not the market price. Then you get black markets, which you have in New York with subletting. And you get quality problems because landlords don't invest in property they can't make money on. How is this hard? Ladies and gentlemen, stupid is a choice. Someone said in the chat we should put that on the shirt. Stupid is a choice. Maybe we should. Paula! Come on! Paula. Maybe we should. Stupid is a freaking choice. You don't have to be stupid. You don't have to listen to moron podcast bros and Bernie Sanders fake commies like Chevalier and others who can never produce any of. Do you ever ask yourself, like, I need evidence for this premise I'm going to waste an hour or two of my life on? I produced our tallies. What do we got? Lowest crime rate, lowest murder rate. We got all. What do you got? Defamation suits. You have nothing. No service to the country ever. Service to yourself. Did you hear Trump go off on the commies, by the way, and the rent control people? This is good. No one gets it better than Trump. He's a builder, real estate guy in New York. Nobody understands the market better than him. I'm going to tell you a quick story about him. Quick break, last break, and I'll get right back to it. Hey, folks, lately I've been looking for ways to stay cool at night. It's hot. It's been really hot. It's a heat wave over the whole country. And get some solid sleep. You can't sleep if your body temperature is too high. Check it out yourself. That's what brought me to Helix. I love Helix. I've been a Helix mattress owner for a long time. I have the Midnight Lux. The difference is night and day. The only downside, you don't want to sleep anywhere else. You just want to be home in your own Helix sleep mattress. I used to wake up sore, too hot, especially in the Florida sun, and constantly tossing and turning. That's not me anymore. I got my sleep tracker. My sleep has been amazing. Vouch for the Helix sleep mattresses, HELIX. They're fantastic. They've been with me forever. Here's how you do it. You take our simple sleep quiz. It's really easy. Really simple. You'll get matched with a mattress tailored to how you sleep. It's a total game changer for you. The cooling upgrade, huge, especially with warmer nights here now. I've noticed it in my sleep tracker. The deep sleep is better. The REM sleep is better. On top of that, you get a 120-night sleep trial and a limited lifetime warranty. Sleep comfortably. There's no downside to giving Helix a try. It's a really easy, worthwhile upgrade. They stand behind their products. Go to helixsleep.com/Dan for 20% off site-wide, 25%, even better, off Luxe mattresses, and 30% off Elite mattresses. Huge savings. Now's the time to do it. That's helixsleep.com/Dan for 20% off site-wide, 25% off Luxe mattresses, an incredible 30% off Elite mattresses. Helix, HELIX, helixsleep.com/Dan. Check them out today, helixsleep.com/Dan. Thank you, Helix. President Trump, so one of the last interviews he did before the last presidential election, I don't know if you guys remember, but it was on the podcast. Many of you were there in the Bongino army. We had like 300-something thousand live streamers for that show. It was crazy that day. But before the show, Guy, you were there. Remember this? We were chatting before the show, and I was asking the president, I said, Mr. President, I said, you know that Waldman rink story? Bottom line is there was this ice skating rink in New York. No one could fix it for decades. It was always broken. It was just like an eyesore, a disaster, whatever. Trump comes in, just regular Donald Trump, I wasn't the president yet, obviously. And he's like, listen, I can fix this. He did it in like 6 months. I asked him about this story because I was a New York City resident. I know it's not a big deal to anyone in the chat. Like, what the hell's an ice skating rink? But it was a huge story in New York because this freaking rink was such an eyesore. Trump fixes it like that. I'm talking to him before the show, and he's going into like the mixture of brine and salt property. What do they call that with the collegiate of properties? He's like, he blew me away. Like he was the measuring device, how they got it in there right. And keep in mind, this was decades ago. So I leave the interview. Interview goes great. Paul and I are walking down. I think we had stopped in Times Square for something, whatever. And I said to her on the way out, because I knew what I was thinking. I said, Paula, what was the most impressive part of that interview? She goes, the ice skating rink before the interview thing. I think he mentioned it on the air in the interview too, if you go back and watch it later. I said, yes. This guy, he speaks very discursively. I get it. He bounces around a lot. I do it too sometimes. I got a little bit of like ADHD sometimes, right? This guy knows his stuff. That's why when he hears about stupid freaking ideas like rent control is one of the most economically debunked fallacies in human history. You can't, it's like gun control. There's no such thing. You're never going to control guns. Criminals don't give a shit about you controlling guns at all. Just like landlords who need to make money will figure out a way around it. Here's Trump talking about rent control and Mamdani. This is great. He's like, I'd be the greatest commie ever. Just give shit away. It's all free, right? Check this out.
And as you saw with the communists elected in New York City recently, they're communists, they're not social democrats. They want to completely destroy the traditional American way of life. Communism is very easy to sell. It destroys everything, but it's very easy. I'll be honest, I think I'd be the greatest communist in history. I'd give free rent. Ladies and gentlemen, from now on, you don't have to pay any rent. From now on, anybody wants a house, don't worry about it. Just pick the house you want. Everybody gets free food. Everything is free from this point forward. Everyone's going to vote for me. The problem is, after 2 or 3 years, the country is a disaster area. The country fails. They always do. It always does. So easy to sell. That first year, boy, you're the most popular. It's happening right now in New York and California. But you'll start living in squalor. You'll live in squalor. There will be no food. There will be no housing. There will be no military. There will be no law and order. There will be no nothing. There will be no nothing. You'll be a third world inhabitant in every way, and everyone will suffer or die. You'll suffer or die. This is what happens. For thousands of years it's been happening by different names. Thousands of years. I'm telling you, I'd be the greatest communist in history. It would be so easy. You wouldn't have to work. You could stay home. The problem is a couple of years go by, the whole place collapses. Always does. Always has.
Karma379 in the chat says, Dan, I remember the Waldman Rink ice skating rink story. It was amazing. Yes, it was. This guy's a freaking doer. He's a spreadsheets guy. He's transactional. He understands, having grown up in David Dinkins, Ed Koch, Abe Beam, Democrat, communist New York. When I was a kid, when I grew up, he's older than me. Obviously, he's got a lot more experience, but Lindsay and others up there, right? He's seen it. He's seen the death, the destruction, the murder rate explode, the entire city collapse. He's seen it. He understands it. He's lived it. That's the difference between him and Kamdami, the communist. Kamdami's never had a freaking job. Kamdami doesn't know anything. How old is this guy? Like 34? Folks, I'm sorry, but in today's TikTok world and stuff, I love younger people. It's not a knock on you, but can we at least be honest that there's a lot less responsibility conferred on the average 18-year-old today than there was in, say, Lincoln's time when he was out in, Indiana territory and Illinois at the time, when he's out there like raising his, taking care of his dad's farm while he went to go look for a new wife when he was like 7 years old? Like you'd be arrested by child services now. What does Mamdani know? I'll even make this give it like a liberal tinge so maybe it makes sense to the liberal dipshits who've chosen stupid as a choice. Say you own a liberal bookstore somewhere in like a purple state, Colorado. I don't even use a red state. What does Mamdani know about your freaking bookstore? He's never run a bookstore. He's probably never read a freaking book outside of the Communist Manifesto, and he probably only skimmed that. He doesn't even know who Solzhenitsyn is. Why would you take advice from these idiots rather than a guy like Joe? Look at his dipshit with his stupid videos. Look at me. I'm eating a popsicle in a freezer. We're going to freeze your right. You get it? Freeze, frozen popsicle. Yeah, we get it, moron. We get it. The question is, do you get it? Folks, there is a war going on for the soul of the country. I'm going to tell you something, man. I was gone this week, and I had a moment. I did. I'm very candid with you guys, and I don't like to pretend like some of these other people do in the bit. Not a lot, but some of them. Like I'm any better than anybody. Like I got some like Avengers superpower. I don't. I'm just a dude. Shit stings sometimes. But I'm telling you, I really had a moment this week. I was out in the real world for a whole week for the first time in a long time. I'm usually like in my house or the studio, and that's it. I don't run into a lot of people. But to see just regular, everyday, good, decent, God-fearing Americans and listening to them and stuff they're doing and stuff they care about and stuff they think was interesting. We did something they think wasn't. It was just a really, really illuminating experience. I came back with such a smile on this morning. I couldn't wait to get back on the air because happy 250th. You live in the greatest place on earth. However, we are under attack. And I'm going to tell you something to the liberals out there who think speaking of Solzhenitsyn, read The First Circle or the Gulag Archipelago or any of these books about what actual communism looks like when the infiltration is complete. You're next. How many people in the chat remember my Dan Bongino cannibalism theory? Cannibalism theory, which they're trying to institute on the right. You notice, I'm serious, the podcast bros, and you know what I'm talking about. And the podcast sisters too. They never spend any time on the left anymore. It's a constant attack on us, on our movement. You don't find that odd? Like I said, ever wow, that is strange. You got a bunch of commies taking over America. Their whole show's about us, the good folks actually doing the work, who gave up the time and did it. Proud to be on the right side of that. This is what happens when you let shit like that take over your movement. It's already there on the left. Folks, when you let a bunch of charismatic charlatans, and they are charismatic, they have audiences. The groupies are shrinking, but the audience is there, make no mistake. When you have charismatic charlatans, eventually they start calling for everyone under the guillotine because nobody's pure enough. Here's what I mean. Watch this rage out on the left. This is going to happen if we don't stop this shit on our side too. This guy, Scott Wiener, is like one of the biggest liberals in the country. He's all about the DEI, LGBTQIA +2 spirit, trans, whatever, all this stuff. You're not going to find a bigger liberal. So why is he being attacked in a park by a bunch of liberals? Because cannibalism theory. People who don't believe in facts and evidence eventually start running out of people to attack. So they eventually have to ingest their own to show how pure they are. It's a fake purity test. Watch what happens to this guy in a park as the guy pretends to like him at first. Oh, I love what you did with the trans stuff. And then watch the shift when it comes to the Israel issue and Gaza. Check this out.
Scott, I think your legislation on trans issues and your legislation specifically protecting queers on the sex offender registry is fantastic. Like, I really applaud you for that, and I think you deserve to be here for that. But I think your housing policy, and specifically your housing policy aligning with YIMBYs, and I think your policy, on the genocide in Gaza.
It is.
And I think your policy on the genocide in Gaza is terrible. I think you do not belong here. I think you do not belong here. You do not belong here, Scott, anymore. It sucks because you've been wonderful. You've been wonderful for trans people, and you've been terrible. And you've been terrible. You've been terrible. You've been terrible on Gaza. You do not belong here anymore, Scott, and it breaks my fucking heart. It breaks my heart.
So we got a ninja.
It breaks my heart.
There's a ninja.
Someone who wrote good legislation for queers.
Is that Sho Kasuni
so
from Revenge of the Ninja?
On Gaza. Scott,
by the way, is this guy just tall? Or is he just surrounded by a bunch of...
Gaza?
Oh, is he 6'7"? Okay. I was going to say, because either that or like there's a lot of very small people in this. He's a moving target, this guy. He's very tall. You can see it pretty easily.
Scott, say something.
I debated cutting this off, but I'm just enjoying showing you what cannibalism looks like when it takes over your own party.
I want to like the person who had such good legislation.
I'm warning you. This is what happens when logic and reason and truth. Here is evidence for my claims. That's logic and reason. I make an assertion. Whatever, the wealthiest 1% pay this amount. Here's my backup, the Tax Foundation statistics. Logic and reason will always save you. Here's the other claim. The rich don't pay anything, zero. Well, that's refuted by actual evidence. What happens next? Rage. Because everything you do. We got to keep that. Ordinarily, I'd object because of your fascination with Star Wars, which sometimes overwhelms my... These guys loves all of them. It's crazy. I did not even put it on the job application. Do you have to love Star Wars? I should have, because all of them like I love Star Wars, which is cool, whatever. But that Anakin doesn't work. I'm really sorry. That's what happens. They're saying, I hate you, but they're talking to themselves. Think about this. Imagine how angry you'd be if you went and got a degree in like... whatever, 14th century, 16-year-old female basket weaving. And you found out that the whole course was made up. There were no baskets in it. You'd be really angry, like you wasted your money. That's what these people do. Folks, I'm on the side of Team America. This is the greatest country on earth. There's no reason to be miserable all the time. I'm not talking to you. I'm proud to stand with you. To these doomers and grifters and bums, with their defamation suits and their bullshit and their lies. One guy's like the freaking like PR guy for freaking Epstein while bitching and moaning about, really? This is your beacon of truth? Bro, give me a break. This is just facts. You look it up yourself. You don't need me. I don't spend a lot of time on it because it's a waste of my time. I'm on Team America. I'm not on Team Bullshit. And that's why they hate me. And that's why I flip you the double barrel, because there's nothing you can do. Because it's a Monday in the middle of summer, and we're an hour and 10 minutes into the show, despite the Robinson trial going on and Trump giving a presser. And we still had 51,000 people here filling a freaking stadium. We're not going anywhere, so you can go yourself. That bother you? What are you going to do? What are you going to do, fat boy? What are you going to do? What are you guys going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Keep doing podcast episodes? What are you going to do? Keep telling people you got evidence you never produce? And keep talking about Egyptian plane? What are you going to do? It must bother you that you got a bunch of suckers out there that eventually are going to wake up to your whole act. We ain't going nowhere, man. Nowhere. And I got a whole army of folks behind me that are interested in logic and reason, none of your bullshit. Because I'm on Team America. You know what? I'm even on Team Oliver Henry. He's not even American, but he loves America. Did you guys see this? Who's Oliver? You know who he is? Oliver Henry, man. This guy, this is great. I found this guy, well, I didn't, he's popular. I mean, I just saw it on X, but he's all over the place. Oliver Henry. I now understand the American dream. I came to the World Cup because I would offer a last-minute ticket to watch England play Croatia in Dallas, and I started documenting my journey. The content went viral on social media, so much so the President of the United States saw it himself. So I was invited to attend the grand opening of the Great American State Fair for Freedom 250, and halfway through President Trump's speech, I was told to come and wait for a photograph backstage. This sort of thing could only happen in America. As an Englishman, I never really understood what America has to make it the, quote, land of opportunity. But results speak for themselves. Oliver brings the receipts. Look at this. Talking to the boss. Boss loves him, smiling. Iconic thumbs up shot. Only in America, folks. Only in America. I'm on Team America. I'm on Team Facts. I'm on Team Serve the Public when you can. I'm on Team Give Away Money when you can. I'm definitely not on Team Commie, Team Bullshit Artist, Team Slick Back, Greasy Hair Zeros. I'm not on that team. I know that bothers you. And Justin, how many shits do we give about that? Zero. Wow, the whole team. I only asked Justin. They all chatted. Zero. All right, I didn't get to the Supreme Court stuff. I'm sorry. I will get to it tomorrow. I've got a lot to talk about on that. I've got some thoughts on birthright citizenship. I know you've heard about the cases already, but I mentioned it's a national security problem, and it is. And I owe you an explanation as to why. It's not complicated. Also about mail-in balloting, where I think they went wrong on that. How we lost that is just astonishing. With due respect to the Supreme Court, they were way off on that. It's election day. And them saying, well, the election's, not over until like the voting is complete. It's like saying a test isn't over until the test taking is complete. What are you going to do? Give people all week to take the test? To create a fair system, you create a timeline for the test. So everybody's playing by the same set of rules. You have an hour to take the test. I'll get to that tomorrow in a little bit more detail. Again, join our contest. We're giving away $1,776 each week to one lucky person out there, 1776 Live Club. Check that out. All you got to do is show up live every day, comment away in the chat, and what is it? What's the comment of the day? The guy's big. What will his mustache plead? Comment that the COTD comment of the day. So if that was you, stay tuned. be entered into our weekly process here. What will his mustache plead? I think it pled guilty too. I'm pretty sure it's attached, unless he shaved it and kept it in a little bucket or something next to him. Folks, be sure to download the Rumble app. On Rumble, you can watch some of the best talent out there. I know we have Haley at noon and Vince at 8. The queen of your lunch hour, Haley Carania, the king of morning podcasting, Vince. But we also got other good talents out there, great talents too. You got Tim Pool out there. You got Steven Crowder. We got a bunch of amazing people out there. Download the Rumble app. It's free. Join Rumble Premium. It's a great experience on Rumble Premium. You get fewer ads out there. Also, if you want to go online, rumble.com/Bongino. Just put it in here. It's all free. You can download the Rumble app on your smart TV. Join in every day for the live chat. Just click that follow button. We'd love to see it. It is all free. I will see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Hey there, I'm Vince.
I'm Haley Carania,
Host of Vince.
host of Scrolling with Haley.
You can always catch my show right here
On the Bongino Report.
live, 8 a.m. Eastern, weekday mornings.
Weekdays at noon. If you miss it, no worries. The show will always be
Right here
and
and
anywhere you find podcasts. Thanks for watching.